Max Jones and Sir John Laws, and earlier this year I was involved with the Poetry by Heart competition, which is a poetry recital competition for students in years 10 to 13 across England. And so I took part in this year's competition and last year's, both times became Hertfordshire champion, and then went to the national finals event. And it's co-run by Andrew Motion, Sir Andrew Motion, who you may have heard of, who is Britain's former poet laureate. And he was getting up, doing some introduction to the event, and he said something which I thought was quite nice, which is, poetry is emotional noise, and by reciting a poem, we can really get inside it and begin to appreciate themes and ideas. So that's what I'm hoping to do today, and I'm hoping to leave you with some things to think about. So I'm going to ask, when I get to the end of the poem, if you don't applaud, no round of applause, I'll just leave you a moment to kind of take it all in and reflect. And then I'll come back to it and maybe talk about what sort of things came up. So as Miriam said, I'm going to be reciting Philip Larkin's Going, Going. I thought it would last my time, the sense that beyond the town there would always be fields and farms where the village louts could climb such trees as were not cut down. I knew there'd be false alarms in the papers about old streets and split-level shopping, but some have always been left so far, and when the old part retreats as the bleak high-rises come, we can always escape in the car. Things are tougher than we are, just as Earth will always respond, however we mess it about. Chuck filth in the sea if you must, the tides will be clean beyond. But what do I feel now? Doubt? Or age, simply? The crowd is young in the M1 cafe. Their kids are screaming for more. More houses, more parking allowed, more caravan sites, more pay. On the business page, a score of spectacled grins approve some takeover bid that entails 5% profit and 10% more in the estuaries. Move your works to the unspoilt dales, grey area grants. And when you try to get near the sea in summer, it seems just now to be happening so very fast. Despite all the land left free, for the first time, I feel somehow that it isn't going to last. That before I snuff it, the whole boiling will be bricked in except for the tourist parts. First slum of Europe. A role it won't be so hard to win with a cast of crooks and tarts. And that will be England, gone. The shadows, the meadows, the lanes, the guild halls, the carved choirs. There'll be books. It will linger on in galleries. But all that remains for us will be concrete and tyres. Most things are never meant. This won't be, most likely. But greeds and garbage are too thick-strewn to be swept up now, or invent excuses that make them all needs. I just think it will happen. Soon. Just leave you a couple of moments to reflect on that a bit. So, it's quite a powerful piece of verse, I think. Quite hard-hitting, quite blunt, no-nonsense, and it would be written by Philip Larkin, who was quite a no-nonsense, down-to-earth, gruff old English poet. And I think it really touches on a lot of the things we've heard today, particularly the talks we've heard about economic inequality. When he talks about the score of spectacled grins approving the takeover bid, and the land being turned into something else to service the richest people in society. And he sort of comes to the conclusion that this is all inevitable. This is going to happen, despite he tries to tell himself that it's not. But he can't really escape it. And I think that really touches on a kind of collective apathy. Sort of hinting that people don't care, they think, oh, it's all going to be all right. We'll be fine. But I think when I was going through it, it really made me think, if we're really serious about trying to solve these problems, well, we really need to acknowledge that they exist and try and take action. Or we will, maybe, I don't know, find ourselves in the situation that Larkin is talking about. So as Andrew Motion said, poetry is a very important forum for expressing ideas and for taking new things in. And so, for those of you, I hope there's only one or two among you at the most, who saw the program and thought, some guy's going to come and recite a poem, I'd like you to think about what he said. But actually it can be quite powerful, and we can really begin to appreciate things more through it. Thanks again.